Right. Okay, I'll jump in. Welcome everyone to the UN Global Compact Network Australia's virtual open house. Next slide, please, Jessie. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and pay my respects to elders past, present and future. My name is Greta Korthaus. I'm the Stakeholder Engagement Manager at the UN Global Compact Network Australia. And with me on this call today is Simiao Yu, Participant Engagement Regional Manager at the UN Global Compact. Feel free to share in the chat box your name, where you're joining from, and why you're here today. Next slide, please, Jessie. As this is a virtual open house, please meet our team. We are 10 team members, having grown fast over the last couple of months. When I joined in September, there were 6 of us. Now there's 10. I'd like to point to the top right-hand side of this slide. You can see Emilia Maubach is here today, our Manager Events and Communications, with Jessie Luli, our Coordinator Events and Communications, assisting us, both in the background. Next slide, please, Jessie. Before we begin, I'd like to run over housekeeping. Please use the chat function at the bottom of your screen to introduce yourself and to ask any questions. Please use the raise hand function for questions after the presentation. And if you have any technical issues, please contact us on the phone number listed on the slide. You will reach Emilia if you ring that number. We will have time for Q&A at the end of today's session. So for any questions that come up, feel free to add those to the chat box as we go. Next slide, please. So in today's presentation, we will introduce ourselves both on the global and the local level. We will talk about how we support business, talk you through the benefits and the business case of joining the Global Compact, and we'll answer your questions. With that, I'll hand it over to Simiao to introduce the United Nations Global Compact.
Well, thank you, Greta. And just a friendly reminder for everyone to please mute yourself when you are not speaking. Thank you so much. And welcome again to the virtual open house. So let's start the presentation with a very brief history. The UN Global Compact is the United Nations Corporate Sustainability Initiative. At Davos in 1999, it was the former UN Secretary General Mr. Kofi Annan who proposed to initiate the Global Compact of shared values and principles to give a human face to the global market. And then at the time, there were 40 companies and their CEOs, including Nike, Unilever, Rio Tinto, these really big names. They signed up to create what is now the UN Global Compact. So that was 22 years ago. And next slide, please, Jessie. Thank you. And these companies committed to conduct business in a responsible manner by embedding a set of 10 principles into their core businesses. And the 10 principles are truly universal, and they are derived from UN declarations, UN conventions, and that cover 4 key areas that you are seeing on the screen here. So it includes labor, the environment, human rights, and anti-corruption. So participants commit to align their strategies and operations with these 10 principles. And next, please. Also, companies will commit to advance these really wonderful UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. So what we believe is that companies can contribute to the world's sustainability agenda by first committing to this set of 10 principles or values into their core operations. In addition, we have a mandate to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals, which are a set of goals for a healthy, sustainable, prosperous, and equal society moving forward. So working in a valued and principled way towards a set of very ambitious goals is the way that we work together with companies, and that's how we can deliver the world that we all want. So next, please. We have now become the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, working specifically with companies around the world to really help them efficiently increase their sustainability impact. And now the initiative works with more than 15,000 companies around the world and more than 3,800 non-business signatories based in 163 countries. Within such, there are more than 2,400 companies here in the Asia and Oceania region, and about 202 are in Australia. And the region is also one of the fastest growing regions in the world. You see the growth rate here in Australia is 38%. And we see not only multinational companies, but also small and medium-sized enterprises are actively engaging with us. So what a significant time to join us. We have 69 local networks around the world, including the Network Australia. And these local networks are our local branches on the ground who can really help us provide local resources, activities, and drive sustainable development in that particular country with localized and relevant contacts and expertise. You will hear from Greta more on their local activities and programs shortly after. And if you from the audience are from a multinational company or have operations in other countries, I'm also happy to connect you with our other local networks as well. So yeah, please let me know, and we're here to help you scale up your impact as well. All right, so that is the UN Global Compact in brief. Next slide, please. We will have some data to share with you. All right, so we always reflect back in the past 21 years, and we always evaluate on how the world is progressing. So here are significant awareness or increasing awareness and action from the business community. So as you see on the screen here, we surveyed global CEOs, and we see that CEOs are increasingly aware of the global issues. So these data come from our annual survey. Our 2021 annual survey shows that there are 88% of companies are already taking actions on the SDGs, and that number is up by 4% from last year, which is quite good, right? And that 90% of companies already have policies and practices in place to deliver against the 10 principles of the Global Compact. CEOs are increasingly aware of sustainability, as 86% of global CEOs, they agreed that the whole global and economic systems need to refocus on equitable growth. And next slide, please. Oh, by the way, we're going to share the slides afterwards, so no need for you to keep track of all of the numbers. And we also see the world is not on track to deliver on the SDGs. So some data points to highlight here, only a few to highlight here. If we look at gender, for example, at the rate we're going right now, it will take 286 years to close the economic gender gap globally. This is quite significant because before COVID-19, it was going to take 257 years. So there has been a loss in progress due to the pandemic. And we also know about the climate action or the climate change issues as we're tracking towards 3 degrees increase, with global warming predicted to reach over 3 degrees by the end of the century. So overall, we are 62 years behind schedule on the social progress index. And that really means that we are still a very long way from delivering the goals set up by the Agenda 2030. Next slide, please. Right, and it's really about scale. We know that collective work we're doing right now is making an impact, but we just need to scale it. About 53% of the CEOs say that the hardest thing they find on delivering sustainability goals is extending through the supply chain. And increasingly, this has gone up by 14% over the last 3 years during the pandemic. So what that really means is CEOs are realizing that this is something they need to address urgently. Here's also an illustration of that data point. So we also asked companies in our annual survey, how many of you are ensuring a living wage to your employees? The answer was 71%. So 71% of the companies we surveyed have a living wage enabled in their company at the headquarter level. But throughout the supply chain, we only saw 20% of the companies are able to ensure a living wage to their related employees. So this is the most difficult thing to do to scale up their ambition and action across ecosystems or the value chain. And that's also what we need to help the business community to overcome. Next, please. So the focus, I really love this quotation from the under UN Secretary General, and the focus is really about scaling impact collectively and through collaboration. We are here to enable companies of all sizes around the world to contribute to address ESG, environment, social, and governance risks holistically, and then we can move business as usual. All right. So next, you will see how we can work with companies. So Jessie, please come. Yes, next and next, please. I want to show everything all together. Thank you. So the UN Global Compact, together with the Network Australia, we are here to ensure that we're all working together to elevate companies' actions, and together we can deliver against those goals. Participating companies, they can achieve their sustainable value by delivering measurable impact to the world's most pressing challenges. So that is really our mission. So how do we do that? First, we enable companies to drive impact on specific goals where companies have an all-sized effect on the outcomes. I will show you the goals on the next slide. And the second, with the Global Compact, companies of all sizes, geographies, and sectors across their value chains and through entire ecosystems, they can contribute and scale ambitious action to deliver on these goals. We will be investing in more programs at the UN Global Compact. We will invest in more resources to help scale collective action against these 7 goals. So all companies are able to contribute to the goals with the right tools. And lastly, companies can make measurable progress and communicate it through a trusted reporting system. So all stakeholders of the companies are able to track progress of your work and our work that we're working together. And this is public data on an open source platform, and everyone is able to use it, see it, including regulators, investors, and customers. So next, you will see that we identified 7 focus areas, also known as our shape and lead areas, where we believe the business community can have a strong impact, and we have designed a portfolio of initiatives, of engagement opportunities to help you deliver on them. So these 7 focus areas that we're focusing on for the next couple of years are human rights, labor and decent work, climate changes, anti-corruption, gender equality, SDG integration, which means how to integrate the SDGs across your business and how to use them for innovation purposes. And lastly is on SDG 16, transformational governance. So these are the heart of the global, these are at heart of the Global Compact 10 principles and the UN SDGs. And you may ask, I see there's some UN SDGs reflected in these 7 core areas. How about the other UN SDGs? There are 17 of them. So we will continue operating or collaborating with other parties, other UN agencies, our partners, and we will follow and amplify on their work. All right, next. So those are really high level, and how exactly are we going to shape up our support for companies like yours? Next, we will do that through these 4 pillars. We do that by convening meaningful dialogue, providing relevant resources to ensure progress in showing bold leadership for ambitious action. We are a networking platform, and we help you make connections at the global and national level. We help you learn and enable you to have the knowledge, the skills you need to make progress and to deliver on your sustainability impact. And when you are ready to become a leader in shaping the sustainability agenda, we're also here to help you lead by showing your bold leadership and inspire others. We also provide businesses with the tools to leverage their position and advocate for impact. Last but not least, we help companies communicate and become a well-regarded commentator and trusted advisor on responsible business practices by communicating openly on your core issues. So let's go into more details. Next, on Connect. So we're able to connect you with experts, with peers, and multilateral bodies at the global and national level through various events exclusively for our participants of the Global Compact. So yes, great. On the screen here, you see we have some global flagship events organized at the global or at the regional level. So once you join the UN Global Compact, these events are complimentary and they're open to all employees within your company. So some examples to share, at the end of last year at COP26, we brought together a group of CEOs to join the event in Glasgow. We also organized a virtual event during the time, so people who were unable to travel to COP26 were also able to tune in and to join the discussion virtually. Coming up in mid-March, we have a virtual event called Target Gender Equality Live, and it will include a range of discussions guided by the UN Women's Empowerment Principles and very practical business examples from the UN Global Compact's Target Gender Equality Accelerator program that you will actually hear more from us. Right, so those are the global events. Definitely have many more locally exciting opportunities for you as well from Australia's side. So next, I think, is for Greta to share more resources from Australia. Next slide. Yes, that's correct. Over to you, Greta.
Yes, there are several regional and thematic events here provided by our local network. In 2021, the local network in Australia hosted over 25 events, including a number of large dialogues and forums. In 2022, we will continue to deliver events such as our Modern Slavery Community of Practice, as well as workshops on topics such as science-based targets. Our website hosts a number of publications which are currently available to download for free, and we host publication launches with the authors. When there are updates or changes in the landscape, we create timely events. So for example, last year we did that 21 days to COP26 event. We also hold a number of annual forums and dialogues, as mentioned earlier. These events occur over a number of days, so sometimes 2 days in a row or as an event series, to dive more deeply into topics with various panel members, breakout rooms, discussion and networking opportunities. Then major conferences will be held every 2 years to bring people together in person. So we've had one last year, which we managed to sneak in between lockdowns. So the next one is planned for 2023. We will talk more about further learning opportunities shortly. At this stage, it's just worth mentioning that our events program extends more broadly into what we call accelerator programs. These programs run over 6 months or more and give applicants the tools to implement actionable change within their organizations. The next slide, please, Jessie. So now a little bit more information on publications on learning. Next slide, please. So the UN Global Compact Digital Library is designed to help you find the resources you need to take the next step on your sustainability journey. We all know it's an individual journey after all. So there's many forms of guidance. Some examples that you see on this slide include our family-friendly workplace guidance, or for example, the SDG Ambition Guide, which aids in ambitious goal setting to deliver the 2030 agenda for the SDGs. Also showcased on this slide is our Integrating the SDGs into Corporate Reporting Practical Guide. This guide outlines a 3-step process to embed the SDGs into existing business and reporting processes. We at the UNGCNA produce guidance across our fields. I'd like to mention our publication, Fighting Bribery in Business, which is a guide for risk, compliance, and sustainability teams implementing adequate anti-bribery procedures. Also, very importantly, I'd like to point to a publication, Building a Net Zero Future, Australian Businesses Taking Science-Based Climate Action. In general, the UNGCNA is very open to suggestions and working alongside members, so please reach out if you have questions or suggestions. Next slide, please. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Jessie. On this slide, you can see some screenshots of offerings that we will offer again in 2022, such as our bite-sized learning videos. We also have a podcast series that is available for free and covers topics such as ethical investments, investment on the SDGs, or the path to net zero, etc. And last but not least, our news and events page gets updated according to upcoming event and learning opportunities. I would like to use this opportunity as a special reminder about the UN Global Compact Leaders Summit in June 22. It will once again convene stakeholders, this time in person and online. So that's a hybrid event for the first time, from the United Nations, governments, business, civil society, and all our local networks to take stock of progress so far and address the gaps in knowledge, resources, and funding. If anyone in the audience today is planning to go, meaning traveling to New York or to Asia, please let us know. I'd love to know. And Simiao, I might hand over to you for our training slide.
Hey, thank you, Greta. I'm also scrolling down the chat and see there's some really great questions and interest for people to lead or initiate sustainability programs in their organization. So I think that's a great segue to the training opportunity, which is called the UN Global Compact Academy. So all employees from our participating companies, they get full access to this wonderful online learning platform called the UN Global Compact Academy. And this platform will enable you to enhance your knowledge and capabilities with learning opportunities available regardless of your corporate function or where you are on your sustainability journey. So all employees are given access to this platform. And we have several types of courses here. First, we have a set of virtual sessions, which are expert-led sessions, and we often invite business leaders to share their best practices with the audience. And then after the live session, we turn it into a designed on-demand learning session as well. So people can always go back and then watch the recording, watch the learning session to scale up on their capability. We also have series of self-paced e-learning modules that can help companies or help employees to gain knowledge on key and fundamental sustainability concepts anytime and anywhere. We have some upcoming themes on our learning contents you see on the screen here. For example, for small and medium-sized companies, how can you implement the 10 principles into your core operations and strategies? So we have something really tailored for smaller organizations. Also, how to make this just transition for a net zero future. So things related to climate action, and then greenhouse gas accounting, transformational governance. So that relates to SDG 16. And many companies are quite concerned about that because that also relates to ESG, the G component. And then human rights, due diligence. I believe that's also a really important topic in Australia. And then inclusive procurement and women entrepreneurship. Lastly is on SDGs in corporate investments and finance, because green finance or sustainability investments are really catching all people's eyes right now. So we really want to make sure you get the most trending and important topics and themes in our learning platform as well. Great, so that's the learning platform. And next, I think Greta will share more with you on the accelerators in more details. Over to you, Greta.
That's right. Thanks, Simiao. For a more integrated learning process, we have the accelerator programs that range from 6 to 12 months, focusing on specific areas. These are based on thought leadership work and are designed for companies to make tangible changes in the processes and activities in their business. It is a program to enable businesses to really set goals and take the action to deliver. you can see on the slide, there's a box on the left-hand side that displays information about the SDG Ambition Accelerator, which we're currently running here at the UNGCNA. For 2022, we're planning to run another SDG Ambition Accelerator a little bit later this year. The current one will end in April, May. It's a 6-month program. We are also looking into offering the Climate Ambition Accelerator in 2022. However, that's yet to be confirmed. So we'll keep you in the loop on that. Please subscribe to our bulletin. So we're putting together the details of our programmatic offering at the moment, and we'll present these to all participants in an online event in March. Next slide, please. One more or two sentences on the SDG Ambition Accelerator in Australia. So it is designed to help businesses understand what goals to set, how to implement them, and how to emanate that through our different parts of the organization. With our current SDG Ambition Accelerator, it sees 1 to 2 business representatives attending these online events and assisting them with understanding how and to what extent they can implement the SDGs into the operations and strategies for their business, which again, obviously is an individual task. Simiao, we are coming up to the lead part, so I'll hand back over to you.
Thank you, Greta. So on lead, for leaders who want to shape and lead the corporate sustainability agenda, there are also lots of great opportunities to help you showcase your bold leadership and then for you to inspire others. So we are currently developing lots of programs which are time-bound incubations of solutions, and they will be done in a cross-functional, multi-sectorial approach to identify key business challenges and what best practices would look like in particular issue area. So remember, I shared the 7 core areas with you. So all of our programs will be focused around those 7 areas. And then we also have some policy and advocacy campaigns working with leading companies, setting time-bound call for action through partnership and collaboration to deliver on specific goals to really affect policymaking and enable positive ambition loop. So next slide, I believe you will see some examples exactly. So we created these coalitions, and they were created to form thought leadership on a particular issue area to deliver the UN SDGs. So we work with companies and our partnered organizations, such as other specialized UN agencies, UN entities, and other organizations. And some of them are also governments from around the world. And we have identified these few coalitions in this multi-stakeholder approach. We have, for example, the CEO Water Mandate, and that enables companies to adopt leading water stewardship practices that can support better outcomes for at least 3 billion people in 100 basins worldwide. And we also have the ocean stewardship in science-based target initiatives, and those are targeting scaling initiatives, and those are really designed for companies to create targets across these really important issues, and can help companies to define what is really needed for them to do and then to contribute to a greater good. And then we have the CFO task force, which is a platform for CFOs, so the chief finance officers, to interact with their peers CFOs and then interact with investors, with financial institutions, and with the United Nations together to share ideas, to develop new concepts and frameworks. And then they will be able to provide recommendations to unlock private capital and then create a market for mainstreaming SDG investments. So these are some of the coalitions that we created for companies who really want to shape and lead the corporate sustainability agenda. Right, next, I think we have communicate, the last pillar, but also I think it's a very important pillar. So we work with companies to communicate on measurable progress against the 10 principles and on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The UN Global Compact incorporate a transparency and accountability policy known as the Communication on Progress, which is a principles-based reporting framework. Yes, next slide, please. So it really helps companies to better track their progress and then foster goal setting in a public and open platform, which clearly tracks a company's progress for all stakeholders to understand their performance and measure. And then it can help companies to set more ambitious and credible goals and targets. And it's also a really helpful tool to help companies benchmark against their peers. And along the way, we have created lots of great resources and tool guides for companies along the reporting journey, and companies can meet their goals more effectively with our resources. All right, so that's on reporting. And next, I also want to share some really good examples with you. So every single company that joins the UN Global Compact, they will get a company profile that's embedded on the UN Global Compact website. And this profile is a great place for you to showcase what you have done when you join the compact, what's the commitment from you, and then what's included in your annual report you submitted to the UN Global Compact. And you can also share or link your social media feeds, your videos on this profile. And next, to better help you communicate with your stakeholders, we also provide a media toolkit for all companies to utilize. And it includes detailed guidance and design files for you to use in your press release messages, for you to use in your social media channels. So yes, I think it's a very helpful tool for you to communicate this very important commitment in action to all of your stakeholders. And next, I think that's everything we wanted to share from the UN Global Compact side, but I just also want to highlight there is a very strong business case on sustainability. So next, you will see some correlations here. When a company incorporates sustainability in its strategy and operations, it improves so many performances, from customer loyalty to employee relations, stakeholder engagement, risk mediation, and so on. It also drives greater profitability and increase corporate valuation, and then reduce cost of capital for sure. And it also delivers short and long-term value creation for your shareholders and the larger society. All right, so now after the strong business case, I am sure that many audiences here are interested to learn more about how to join the initiative. So Greta, over to you to tell us more about how to join.
Thank you, Simiao. Okay, how to join? Well, it's actually fairly easy joining the UN Global Compact. The next slide, please, Jessie. The first step is to review the application guidelines. You see a URL at the bottom of this slide that takes you there. The second step is the preparation of the letter of commitment. In this letter, your organization commits to the 10 principles and to together help us to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. It has to be signed by the highest level executive of your organization. And the third step and last step is to fill in or fill out the online application form. Next slide, please. So a summary of the benefits, I think that might be worthwhile sharing. The UN Global Compact provides a universal language for corporate responsibility and provides a framework to guide all businesses regardless of size, complexity, or location. We are your guide every step of the way. We help you commit to, assess, define, implement, measure, and communicate your sustainability strategy. UN GCNA members have unprecedented networking access to other UN Global Compact participants who are representing nearly every industry sector and size in over 160 countries through a range of exclusive member-only events. They help shape national and international dialogue through the UN GCNA's thought leadership work, which we've heard about today, and consultations with government on emerging and critical issues. And they have access to partnerships and other opportunities for collaboration with a range of stakeholders to share best practices and emerging solutions. Next slide, please. This is our fee structure overview. Fees are invoiced annually, and for companies joining the local network during the calendar year, invoices will be prorated. If you'd like to learn more, Simiao and I can assist you and are happy to offer you a call and talk you through your options. Next slide, please. So with the next steps, here's a short recap of how you can join the Global Compact. Complete the online application form, including providing a letter of commitment signed by the highest level executive. Contact us if you would like to discuss the initiative further, or if you need help with your application. Simiao and I are both your best point of contacts for that. Once you've joined up, we'll get you set up with access to the UN Global Compact's dashboard, which includes access to the Academy, the UN GCNA's member area, which is on our local network page, and ensure that your logo and organization profile are on our website too. And then you can join us as we work with you to meet your sustainability goals. So you can see that the UN Global Compact is not a performance or assessment tool. It does not provide a seal of approval, nor does it make judgments on performance. We encourage you to treat the UN Global Compact as a platform for you to connect, learn, lead, and communicate. It is designed to stimulate change and to promote corporate sustainability and encourage innovative solutions and partnerships. So again, I will be your best point of contact for any questions and to assist you in the process, and I'll also be your main point of contact during your membership. In March, we will be offering a value proposition and membership benefits presentation to our members, or we call them participants. So if you have joined us by then, you will automatically be invited to that. Now, with about 8 minutes left, we get to our questions time. I might open the microphone and see if anyone is raising their hand or have any questions come through. Jessie and Emilia?
Hey Greta, there's one question that has come through, and that is UN Global Compact Academy interested in potentially providing carbon literacy training for business leaders who are at the start of their journey?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. I am happy to take that because we actually did a redesign of our Academy platform just earlier this year, and we wanted to make sure this platform works for everyone, regardless of where you are on your sustainability journey. You can be a beginner, or you can be really mature and advanced on corporate sustainability. We just want to make sure this is helpful for you. So yes, we're always interested to explore ways to better support our participants. And actually, for now, we do have some courses on carbon accounting, for example, or greenhouse gas accounting, and we actually created some learning paths as well. So for a beginner, first, it might be better for you to first understand how to account for your scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions. And then maybe for later on, you may also want to understand how to measure, how to manage, and then reduce your scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions. So we also created courses with different paths of learning. So yes, we are interested, and we already have some content on this. So yes, happy to explore further with you if you want to share more thoughts with us, and we're always happy to get your feedback.
Also, Clay, and I think I found the question in the chat box, so I know you've asked this question. I mentioned before that on the local level, so from us, the Global Compact Network Australia, the offering, the programmatic offering for this year is being fine-tuned and finalized as we speak. It should be approved this week, and we'll then share that with you, so in case you're interested in looking into that. But also there are some existing publications on this matter. So I mentioned earlier the Science-Based Targets Initiative. There's a publication on our website, but also I believe the Academy offers a just transition to net zero course, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not saying that there's no room for improvement, obviously. So thank you for this suggestion and question. Are there any further questions at the moment? Anyone who's interested in learning more about a specific topic, about how to join?
I see a question again on the greenhouse gas accounting courses. Yes, so the Academy, so UN Global Compact Academy, which is our online learning platform, that is only open to all participants of the UN Global Compact. So, but it's open to all employees within the participating organizations. So the answer is yes.
Any other questions? Otherwise, feel free to scan this slide to take the SurveyMonkey survey and let us know if you've got the answer, received the answers that you were after today, and if you have further questions, please put your email address into the survey and I'll reach out to you. We can set up a meeting and have a more in-depth conversation. This is obviously a very high-level overview of what the global office is doing and what we are doing on the local network level. Anyone who has any further questions at the moment? Otherwise, we might let everyone enjoy their lunch break. Fantastic. Oh, that's good feedback. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. I can see that a few people are jumping off. I hope we have covered your key questions. If anything else comes up, reach out to us. You've got our contact details. You can also see our social media handles on this last slide. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We hope to hear again from you and to hopefully be working with you in the future. Thank you.